What's up, my friend? Welcome back to another video, and today we are taking a look at ProjectSam's newest update to their Lumina library. So super excited to get my hands on this. Big thank you to ProjectSam for sending me a copy, and they are so kindly also offering a giveaway copy as well. So if you've ever been interested in using film scoring tools for fantasy, for more magical moments, for comedy as well, Lumina might be the perfect choice for you. It's a wonderful library. I've had a chance to kind of go through and play some of it, and I want to share with you some of my favorite instruments in this library so far, and really show you the power of what it kind of comes with. And so, yeah, let's kind of dive in. You can see here it's a context player library. If you load it in, it literally is just a all-in-one patch. And this was part of the 2.0 update. I think previously when they opened up the instruments patch, there was a whole big list of instruments you could choose from. But here you have an all-in-one patch, which inside the GUI, you can then pick the instruments you want to select. So I really love this interface. It's super like fantasy-like. It's kind of ethereal. Welcome to Lumina. And then you go up here and click library and you can choose an instrument. So if we just take a look at the way it's been categorized, here on the left, you can see all the different instruments, the ensembles, right? So we have all the instruments if you just want to choose from the entire list. Then we have legato instruments. These are all solos, basically. Orchestrations, which we will get into. These are really beautiful combinations of orchestrations, right? And they kind of tell different stories. Then you have the individual section strings, which also includes a double bass, a Celtic harp, string quartet, and a strings trio. We have brass, which contains a B-flat trumpet, and a brass trio, which has phrases in it. Woodwinds, which has recorders and stuff there too. Ethnic woodwinds. Percussion, kind of your typical percussion like bass drum, concasa, cymbals, bell tree, but also some like more unique ones. Flexitone, slide whistle, bell tower. That's kind of cool. Choir is always nice to have, mixed ensembles, and sound design. So yeah, you get a bit of everything here. And articulations you can also select from there. So textures, phrases, do you want sustains or staccato? Do you want legato, etc.? So you can choose via this way, or you can choose the multis, which we will touch on as well. So lots of things you can do. And of course, you can choose the different genres as well. So fantasy, cartoon, mystery, horror, ambient, and sci-fi. Those are the options we have here. All right, so let me just go through, play some of these instruments. Let me start with the strings. So I'm going to go through the different sections, then we'll touch on legato, then we'll take a look at the multis, and then we'll take finally a look at the orchestrations, which is some of my favorite. So here's the strings concertino. Kind of has that like sun opening up in the sky sort of thing, right? Quick listen to the harp. I'm always a big fan of when instruments give you the option of playing the multi-sampled, like you can play the individual samples one at a time, the individual notes, and then they also give you the ensemble option, or like playing chords, like multiple notes at the same time if you want to. It just has a more natural feel if they give you that option right off the bat, right? What's also cool here is they included a double bass, so kind of like for jazz cues, right? Really cool. Okay, let's take a quick look at the brass trio here. So again, here we have some phrases. And then we have them in 145 BPM. Right, kind of like a Superman vibe going on there. A ton of woodwinds. I'll touch on these more in the legato in just a second. Then percussion, you have a whole bunch. Let's just hear maybe a couple of these. Let's hear the bell tower, actually. Very sort of ethereal sound, really, really nice. Let's hear the Lumina bells. I love how those are tonal, so you can really fit them into whatever cue you're writing. Okay, let's hear some choir. This is really nice here, so. Right, some pretty some pretty cool textures there that are quite unique in a library like this. But again, really nice to have the traditional articulations of like oohs and ahs. Very clear sound fidelity, by the way. Also really appreciate the swells there. Sound very, very natural. Okay, let me move on really quickly to the legato. So let's play the alto flute first. They, as part of the 2.0 update, they also mentioned a redesigned legato engine, so everything's a little bit smoother, I think. There's also the ability to play a little faster. So let me play this alto flute, and there's also a staccato here as well, but here's the legato. One thing I really do like in this library is that the legato patches naturally have an ending point without a loop. So other libraries will give you the option to hold a note indefinitely, and the performance will continue to loop as long as you hold the note. This one actually does not do that, which I think is really nice because the character that this library comes with is a very unique one. And if the performance was to loop over and over and over, I think it would detract from the overall vibe. But the fact that we have these performances ending naturally at kind of a predetermined length, or maybe the performer kind of decided when to end themselves, it creates a really natural tail and ending to the note, which I really do like. Let's also hear the oboe, one of my favorite woodwind instruments, of course. So here we go. So some really expressive sustains there in the oboe as well. Okay, let's hear the trumpet as well, and then we'll hear maybe one of the recorders too. Here's the legato. Cool. One of the things, though, you might have noticed is just that I believe this was one dynamic layer recorded across the instrument for each legato patch. And for the trumpet especially, for some of the notes, the performer was playing with a bit more intensity, so you could hear a bit more raspiness in the tone, whereas some of the other notes were a bit more mellow and creamy. So sometimes you might want the entire phrase that you're playing here in this trumpet to be one consistent timbre, but sometimes if you press some notes that have more of the brassy timbre, for example, when you want more of a mellow sound, that might distract the phrase a little bit. So just keep that in mind, that you will have some pre-baked in timbre performances in this library that you might not always like, but in the right situations, it can definitely work. Let's also hear the soprano recorder here. So I think the recorders are one of the standouts here of the library. So a whole bunch of effects in there in addition to the legato and staccato, which is so lovely. Okay, let's move on to what I promised. First of all, the multis. So this is really, really cool. Let me just go to one of these that I've already tried here. I think, let's do round table. So you can see how the playable key range expands there. I love that. Okay, so what you're gonna see here is something slightly different. So you have the name of the multi right in the middle. I think they formerly called these stories, but these have basically a bunch of instruments that are loaded at the very bottom, and to modify them, you can basically click this lock at the very bottom. So now you can see the settings for each instrument. So for example, if we take a look at the clarinet and we want to see how it's being mapped to the keyboard, you can see it's being mapped to this D to this G up here. So if I play around there, you start to hear that clarinet, and it's also legato right now. Now, if I play the oboe, you can see it's basically an octave lower. So that's like the oboe zone right there. And then at the very bottom, we have the 2D orchestra. So in this kind of red key playable range, you hear this. So the cool thing is you can actually play these kind of low orchestral chords at the very bottom to create some texture, and then you can add the melody on the top using, let's say, the oboe or the clarinet. So for example, you get the idea, right? So this is literally meant as kind of a performance patch. And what's really cool is, of course, you can take those individual ranges and swap them around. You can enlarge them. You can make them smaller. You can do whatever you want to them, but it's super customizable and I really love it. And then they also have an effects tab. You can change up the set. You can add, EQ. You can do cutoff, saturation, stereo imaging, etc. So you can get super nitty gritty with the different features here, which is really cool. Last thing I want to quickly show you here is the orchestrations. So let me just find where that is. Here we go, orchestrations. And this is, I think, one of my favorite ones called Waterfall. Have a listen to this. So out of the box, they have the full orchestra loaded, but if you just want to hear the strings, you can just load that. Just the choir, just the winds, piano, harp, percussion, you can do that too. But here's the full orchestra. So. Aren't those textures just beautiful, right? Let's say we just want to hear the strings though, so. Maybe just the choir. And then just the winds section, piano, harp, percussion. So in addition to this being more flexible, this is also a great learning tool. In case you're interested about how those orchestrations were put together, you can literally just isolate those sections and hear more carefully what instruments are being put together. And of course, you have the stage mic positions here as well, close, stage, and far. I love that ProjectSam kind of gives you just those three. They don't overcomplicate things with like 100 mic positions, which is really nice. Let's hear one more here. How about graciousness? So again, here with the full orchestra. Man, the fact that you can split those out is just so amazing. I love just the organic, authentic sound you get here with these patches. So yeah, of course, the great thing here is if they're performing phrases, then you're naturally going to get the full authentic performances as well. It's not like legato transitions, just stitched together or something like that. Like these are the complete performances for these phrases. And I believe they're looped as well. So you can hold them as long as you want to. And then the phrase will essentially just loop itself, which is really nice. So yeah, that's just a quick look here at Lumina 2.0. And if you're curious about all the features that they're offering, definitely check out the ProjectSam YouTube channel. Martin's done a great kind of walkthrough video going over everything that you need to know about it. But this is just a quick overview at the out-of-the-box experience, if you will. And again, my favorites are definitely some of these legato instruments. I think the oboe and some of these recorders are definitely up there for me, as well as some of these orchestrations. And in fact, at the time of this recording, I'm actually working on a few pieces right now, and I think I will start some of them using some of these orchestrations because they have a really inspirational sort of tone that inspires certain melodies and certain themes, certain atmospheres that you can really take and carry on throughout the rest of the piece, or at least until the rest of a section, let's say. So lots of potential here for this library, and you can really hear it solidly in that fantasy sort of ethereal realm, right? Rather than a really bombastic or action-oriented or horror sort of thing, which is ground that the other Symphobia series have kind of covered. So Pandora, for example, covers the more horror, dystopian sort of thing. The Symphobias 1 and 2 kind of cover the more all-rounded sort of thing with action and things like that. This one is very uniquely in its own category. So I'm very happy with this sort of library, and I'm super glad and grateful that ProjectSam allowed me to kind of take a look at it here. So with that being said, let's kind of take a look at the giveaway. Again, big thanks to ProjectSam for giving us a giveaway copy. First thing I would love for you to do is to fill out the form below in the description box. Just enter your info there, and I'll be reaching out within a couple days through email to let you know who the winner is. That's the first thing to do to get entered into the system. The second thing is I would love for you to let me know what you would use this library for. What kind of instruments do you envision using the most? What kind of atmospheres do you envision yourself using? Let me know in a comment below. And third and finally, simply leave a like on this video. It's super helpful. It's greatly appreciated. And yeah, again, it always lets me know that you're enjoying these videos. So thank you again. Good luck in the giveaway, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.